So,
well,
my guys,
Thanks.
what happened last week?
A lot of discussion. We had a
Lot
lot
of role play.
yeah, a lot of heart-to-hearts.
Hearts of farts.
Oh, and we decided not to just continue randomly going north.
Fine.
Because he has the directional sense of a confused Homer pigeon.
In an area that I am very unfamiliar with.
I was thinking more of a lemming.
We just have to go up the mountain.
No, we get me on the mountain. On the mountains. We're good to go. I got it.
Lemmings have this thing where if one goes over a cliff, the rest of them are just going to keep following over the cliff.
Lots of sending spells.
So many fucking biblical spells.
I didn't use any of my spells.
Man, that must be hard.
I didn't use any key last time.
You know what? Just for that, the next magical attack roll you makes at disadvantage.
Oh, hey, you know what? Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, that might help you a little bit.
But yes, ultimately you decided that feelings of discomfort and uncertainty about your traveling directions kind of made you question internally and aloud whether or not the direction you were traveling was the correct one. Theo kind of bringing this to the center of attention, the group decides to contact Estoyo via the sending spell,
3 or 4 times.
who through various forms of communication, not various, I should say multiple forms of communication, you decided to turn around, go back to the fork in the road, and decided to wait for Estoyo there, who he said he would come and meet you, but it would be a few days before he got there.
4 or 5 days is what he said.
You were a little ahead of him. So, with that, you have made... Stop it. You returned back to this location, set up camp, and began the passing of multiple days. During this time, a lot of you kind of took the time to talk to one another, kind of resolve some indifferences, perhaps create more questions than others in some other cases.
We're defending the crossroads from the Alliance hordes.
Yes. The raid is about to begin.
Well,
Well, really glad I still have AoEs.
So, I believe last we left off...
By the way, I just want to give everyone a hand for the excellent roleplay last week. I'm sure the session was
A lot.
kind of not dull for you, but very... There wasn't much for you to be involved in last time, but...
Hey, that's okay. I you know, sessions where it's less me, more you guys are the sessions I live for.
And if anybody does watch the videos, that was, at least between Jenna and I, that was totally unplanned. Neither one of us had any idea what the other one was going to say.
this whole show is scripted.
Yeah. So,
No.
You didn't know that?
just want to make that clear that
Why
it's
do
not
you
like
think
we
I
all...
have my computer? I'm reading the script.
Drex is kind of an idiot, that's why.
I will say, Jono was very nervous as Knox to have that conversation. I got secondhand anxiety from a roleplay character.
Yeah.
Percy's a typical 13-year-old boy and was just going to swallow his emotions until somebody made him. So,
Don't worry.
Bottle it up.
I kind of figured at some point we were going to have a
Discussion.
come together group
We needed
discussion
to clear.
over this shit.
Yeah, we needed to clear the air.
We still haven't totally gotten there, though.
No.
We need a hand zip moment.
Also, some previous events that Theo's kept to himself have come to light, too.
Indeed. You know,
There
lots
was a lot of secret
lots of
sharing.
sharing. It's a good thing.
One thing I didn't get to do last time that I did want to do, hopefully at the beginning of this one, is Kai needs to talk to Knox about shit.
He's not going to be that hard to find.
Well, I know.
He's 6'2" and he wears blue armor.
He's standing on the middle of a fork, too.
Yeah, the fork of the road.
With a fork.
It's a spork. Collin's over there thinking, "Fuck you all."
Get down.
It's been years and it's still going strong.
I hate it.
It's been what, like
Thanks, I hate
5 years?
Yep.
Probably more like
Ugh.
fuck it.
Yeah.
God.
Not you two.
Why not me?
Welcome to the
So-
dark side.
I was the creator.
I can't. How many days had passed?
I think you said we were starting on day beginning of day 3 or beginning of
That's
day 4.
what I
We're
was
gonna
thinking
start
was-
on the 24th of Leviar,
I can't remember which day exactly.
but this is
Collin.
day 5.
Oh, Jesus.
How did one thing real quick since we're talking about how many days and stuff?
I always have
Did we figured out Drax's
pretty good.
whip thing, right? We already
Yeah.
did
Yes.
that.
It's pretty much done.
Yep. There was something I told you to remind me at
Hang
the
on.
start of the session.
I got this.
I don't remember what it was, but I
Kinda
told you to
remember
remind
that.
me.
That's why I kind of when we were talking about downtime days.
Hang on. I got this.
Do you whip your snake back and forth?
Yeah. I wrote it down.
Oh, and while they were talking, Kai and I were having fun with my mirror images.
Yes.
And the summoned dog.
Bob Barker threw himself into the flame.
So, about 90% done, just basically down to
Barker.
fine tuning it.
Okay.
I love him so much.
Okay, well, as we jump into the session, it is the morning of the 5th day.
25th of Leviar.
This is the day that you can expect Astoyo to arrive at some point. Hopefully.
They said 4 or 5. This is day 5, damn it.
Yep.
Quick interruption. Somebody posted a picture of Bob Barker in one of my discords.
How did they know?
Are you telling stories, even?
Maybe.
Fair enough.
It's okay, I thought you wanted it to work.
It generates interest.
So, as you guys kind of get up for the morning, it is sort of the earlier side of the day. So, much like the last few days, the day is yours to spend with the added anticipation of, since Asoyo did not arrive the day before, hopefully he will arrive some point today.
Fine tune this damn whip.
Breakfast. Sounds amazing.
Okay. So,
So they can
Drex
watch
playing
me.
with the snake.
They can watch me whip.
Can they watch you, Nene?
Yeah! Somebody got it.
Daisy and Benny.
What are you doing with Daisy and Benny?
He's got the whip, they've got the nene.
Yeah! Somebody's got my back.
Sometimes.
Usually it's this
That
one.
reminds me. Sorry to sidebar again, but there's a shirt out at Walmart. It's the skeletons with "I've got your back."
I still need to get that thing.
Just message me your shirt size and I'll pick it up for tomorrow.
Excellent.
Theo, what are you doing
Okay.
in the morning here?
Probably not a lot. I mean, at this point, he's been out here in the cold for a lot longer than he's really comfortable.
There's plenty more Theo-shaped holes and boulders. I meant that as a joke, but thank you.
The Drex doesn't want any part of
Percy.
that.
Probably. Of course, he gets up every day and takes care of the horses, as long as they're not being whipped and nay-nayed. And then I assume, like, every day, even though we really haven't had much as far as danger or anything, I assume he still tries to make, like, sneaks around in what trees there are and tries to make, like, a very, like, wide kind of, like, circuit around the area just to make sure there's no signs of danger or more giants and mammoths coming after us or anything like that. Raiding orc bands or anything.
Yeah. And over the days that you've been here, you have occasionally seen other passerbys who are traveling that will go off in various directions, that kind of where the road splits. Most of them take the one that goes splitting to the left-hand side.
To the west.
But
To the left, to the left.
one or two of them either go straight or to the right, but majority, I would say about 90% of them take the leftmost path. Kai, what are you doing?
Everybody else is kind of off doing their own thing, right?
For the most part.
Pretty much. Okay. Kai's gonna approach
Everyone's
Knox.
kind of around the camp, but probably in their own areas at the moment.
Kai's gonna approach Knox. Enjoying his breakfast.
I will say that Theo has probably challenged Drex to, like, mess with the whip.
Oh, that's fine.
You know, I've probably gone into ox form and, like, tried to sneak up on him.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, not where I thought that was
going. Well, Nox is gonna kind of half pay attention to that in case he needs to
Heal somebody?
intervene, in case things. Well, the thing is, it's all for scientific exploration, but sometimes explosions happen and people get injured.
I'm trying to pretend to be a Tauren rogue.
Somehow we see an oxline's back legs just kind of sneaking up behind her.
Do I feel a rumble?
That was a throwback.
Yeah, that was a big throwback.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would feel a rumble.
When I played, I think it was Strahd. When I played Melanie, my druid, she was like a wolf girl. She was raised by wolves, and so whenever she wild shaped, she would turn into a wolf. And Steven used like maps on the TV, and the icon that I had whenever I turned into a wolf was this wolf that was like hyped up on its legs. It just looked so cartoony. So it's like whenever I walk, it makes that like.
It's one of those freaking moon memes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
It was so funny.
Moon. Congratulations, you just outed all of our ages.
So, Kai, you approach Nox, who is half cooking breakfast, but you see a lot of glances over towards Drex and Theo as Theo is wide-eyed staring at this whip, and Drex is like, don't break it, don't break it, don't break it. Percy is taking care of the horses, kind of doing his usual surveillance and lookout, taking a little bit of a stroll around the campsite.
We don't know what he completely does every morning, but Nox just kind of lets him have it, because that's a conversation he just doesn't want to have.
About 30 minutes, he's just like gone. We don't know where.
He's a healthy young boy, let him have it.
I gotta find him.
That's your own prerogative, but let's just double check he's 13.
I don't want to try him. No, I don't.
Okay.
I got no problem. You got a problem. No problem here.
There's a massive problem here. Okay. Cooking breakfast. Here we go.
Yes.
Knox, I got a question for you.
I might have an answer.
You got really mad at all of us for making that deal with Sorsha. And then you went ahead and made a deal that several of us weren't comfortable with. Isn't that basically doing the same thing that you're mad at all of us for?
One of them was to get us out of trouble.
The one with Sorsha was trying to get us information and get us away from
And
those
he's
marks.
also providing us information, but mainly was to get us out of trouble with the mob. I saw it as a necessary evil. I don't trust Soren due to previous experiences and knowledge.
I mean, I don't trust this guy. He wants divinite. Who knows what he wants it for?
So does a Stoyo,
So he wants control of the divinite.
which isn't that much better.
It's really not, but I can agree that this is a case of enemy of my enemy is my friend, but I also don't trust this guy. And I got kind of sucked into all of this.
It'll keep happening, unfortunately. You can't really get one without the other guy.
Yep.
They both rely on each other to function. Without shadows, you don't have light.
Yeah, it's just I'm getting really tired of all these shadow dealings that we keep getting pulled into. Because it seems like we've been dealing more in shadow than in light this entire time.
That'll happen. I'm sure most of the heroes have dealt with shadows before as well.
I mean, I'm sure, but it seems like that's all we've been dealing with. There's kind of stuff going on with the Hound Hydra and Leviathan, and then all this stuff going on with the Matron and Sorsha, and now this guy.
Well, that guy would have been a severe more problem if he didn't make a deal. Because we would have added another angry mob member to our list.
Do you plan on giving him Divinite?
No. But unfortunately, you have to play the game long enough to get your upper hand. We'll have the upper hand.
Hopefully.
Well,
I'll be honest, we haven't had the upper hand yet.
when you understand how to play that game, we can threaten him, well, not threaten him, but bribe him with something else. Instead of Divinite, there's information that I hold, that I know, that based on his own previous interests, might sway him a bit more, and if not, we can potentially sweeten the deal. Instead of getting Divinite, we could potentially set something up with a Divinite supplier, but that really depends on his information, and if we see it satisfactory enough.
I don't know if I ever want to learn how to play that kind of game.
I was born into that kind of game.
That's the first I've heard about it. I mean, I knew you grew up in Arcanium, but
That's Arcanium.
fair.
But I have information on a few other key players that he might be interested in. But I didn't want to show that hand too soon. Because that's dangerous information to give. Because it'll out myself as well.
You know a lot more than you've been saying, don't you?
Comes with the territory, unfortunately. As I told Percy, I'll tell you. I don't really care if I'm called a hero. I joined to keep you lot alive. And if keeping this information has kept you guys alive up to this point, then I can sleep with it.
I mean, mostly I joined because like, it feels like the right thing to do, but it also, like, you guys have all become my friends. And my biggest goal leaving home, especially going to the monastery, was to learn stuff.
Without saying too much just yet, because I don't know if I'm completely ready to share the information with everyone, but unfortunately, just based off of who I am, I don't think we'll ever be too far from the shadows.
You never know.
Kinda do. But I enjoy your optimism. But it is a crapshoot no matter which direction we look, either with the gods or with the shadows. We're just throwing things at a dartboard and hoping we hit.
I reach into my side pouch and hand you a dart. I have a bunch.
Which really darts are there?
They're not really darts for flavor text. I've flavored them as shurikens, but
Well, we can still play darts. That man's also much smarter than what we've given him credit for. I don't think he wants that divinite for the town. I think he wants it as an insurance policy. He strikes me as very ambitious. And that I do not trust. But the information he can give us.
blind ambition's not a good thing. But
And the offer to replace the Matron will save a lot of lives. Because if we kill her, it will create a power vacuum, and a lot of people will die.
just, how can we guarantee that the next person who takes that place is better?
We can't. How can we guarantee the next person we save is going to actually be innocent? We can't. How can we guarantee that the gods we have been talking to is actually Leviathan? We can't guarantee anything, Kai. I can't guarantee anything. Nothing about this I can give you a guarantee.
I can guarantee this, and I just whack you in the side with my staff.
King.
Roll initiative.
Wait, which side you hit?
Probably your left.
Okay.
I'm assuming we're talking like this, and I went like this.
And he's like, okay, and?
So there are things you can guarantee.
Yeah, short term.
But long term, stabs you in the chest.
But long term, inflict wounds.
No, he's not that mean.
No.
We can only just do what we can with the information we have and the options available to us. Nothing is ever truly black and white.
Yeah, everything's shades of gray.
How many?
The further-
50? We do have a whip now.
I can take hold person. Anyway. But
This is a Sunday group where we have all that other exotic stuff.
Is it getting there?
Don't have it yet.
Oh.
Yes.
but
I'm starting with the whip.
it is difficult to figure down the rabbit hole we go, the more worried I get. I'll try and keep that away from you lot. It's not fair. Someone needs to be strong. But I'm not gonna lie to you, Kai, I'm scared for the shit.
That's why I didn't do anything in the bar. Seeing Drax go down like that, I didn't want him to get hit.
We could have done a lot of casualties, but that we could have won at the same time. The call was made. But from here on out, we do need to decide as a group. If we all fight, we fight. If we all not, we don't. 'Cause that is how people do die.
That's a group discussion, though.
I know how Percy feels. And as long as we're unanimous,
I mean, within reason, I'm okay with stepping into places.
but he's also 13. Heroes still wear bright, shining armor, stand up for the righteous, and uphold values.
Because it'd be like, oh god, how are the aliens?
Still 13. We have to remember that.
Yeah. I mean, you and Theo are the same age.
It's very difficult to try and treat them as adults when also, in the back of my brain, I understand they've only had 13 years of experience.
I'm going to shift into Ox form and attempt to sneak up on Drex.
Roll stealth check with disadvantage.
Three?
Actually, well, it's 6. I rolled a 3.
So you do a pretty good job at the start, kind of Theo tiptoeing near Drex, but then you get a little overambitious, and when you shift, you, and then you're like,
My first roll of that was an natural 20.
No!
Picking up.
Drex, you turn over after hearing this noise, and you see Ox Theo, like, moving quietly in your direction,
And I've got a big grin on my face.
and you look and make eye contact, he just stops moving.
Red light, green light.
As you slowly start turning your head away, he slowly moves closer.
I'm gonna let him think he has it, I guess.
Nox is gonna pause mid-conversation, see if there's trouble, and he's just gonna go right back to try.
It's just like,
Let him believe he's got me.
We'll keep this up until they get really close.
You feel warm air on the back of your necks coming from an ox as you hear this heavy, intense.
As he gets right there, and telepathically, I'm like, don't think about it.
Turns around.
Disadvantage.
As I turn around, my tail just smacks him in the back of the head.
So as he's right behind him, and Drax is playing,
Do it.
Percy's going to attempt to sneak up behind him and smack you on the ass.
Do it! Nox has stopped all conversation now at this point. He's just watching
And Kai's
what's
just
happening.
29 stealth?
Oh yeah. Theo's completely oblivious to this.
Theo, you're so focused on Drex here as you hear him say, don't think about it in your head. You kind of hang your head down into a pout and you go to turn around, you feel your tail whipping, and as you turn around, you feel this. He rises up on his legs. Drex, you, for a moment, no longer feel like the biggest man in the room. As this hulking ox shadow just comes barreling down on you.
Nox is halfway to his feet. Like,
Kai's just like, oh!
Percy's rolling on the floor.
Now, is he falling on me, or is he just
Rearing.
up on this?
He's just up, like, kind of like kicking about, like, nervously for, like, a second.
I'm probably in the best fashion I can as an ox, trying to like pat the sore spot of my ass.
The tail is just like... Percy is dying on the ground, rolling in fits of laughter.
Once he knows that Drex is not in immediate trampling danger, he's going to sit back down.
I would have made an attempt to catch him. Or stop him.
Catch the big ox.
I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, I can push, lift, drag, push, and carry weight as if it was one size larger.
They're going to age me prematurely.
So it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Anything else you wish to talk on, Kai?
It was the children.
Yes, the 3 children will play.
And technically, he's older than she is.
But, me?
Yes.
I'm
Perhaps
30?
Yeah, you're the oldest of the group.
Perhaps sometime soon I'll elaborate more. But I can't elaborate without getting into stuff that still brings me some pain to talk about.
I just can't remember.
You didn't write it down.
I did, just not here.
So,
He's just gonna gently pat you on the shoulder.
Can I borrow your medical book?
Yeah.
I just haven't read anything like that yet.
Sure. Weird transition.
You asked if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. I remember.
Yes. Okay. He's gonna just get up, reach over, and he's gonna pull out 2 books. He's gonna put one back, and he's gonna hand this beat up copy with different tags and notes and.
You'll find her in the mouth of her tent, reading the book.
you slightly giggle to yourself when you come across the page that has a penis on it.
Yeah, she is 17, so yes.
How heavy
through-
anatomy are you going to get?
Through the morning, as you guys continue your shenanigans, have breakfast, kind of continue to wait. Eventually the morning transitions into the afternoon.
Eventually Knox is probably just going to sit next to Kai and just point out some of his favorite side notes. And he's like, yeah, this is a pressure point you should hit. And you can put people's...
Well, I know how to hit this one, this one, this one, and this one, and make them tell the truth.
Yeah, but if you hit this one, it's fascinating.
If you hit this one, it does a lot of damage points to the balls.
This would make them shit themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. But he's just going to start pointing out the different muscle groups. And like, I know you have some medical terminology, but he's just gonna just be there if you have questions to just translate.
She's got her big notebook in front of her, and she's just...
Yeah, because some of the notes are written in Celestial, just really depends on his mood, so he'll just translate those for you. It's a bonding experience. Let him have this.
She's not gonna say no.
It's more knowledge.
Exactly. And it's helpful knowledge.
He's more than happy to talk medical terminology.
Now you have talked to both of the twins about medical.
Yes. It's not very often he can speak smart.
Can't do that with Drex.
No, he cannot.
Not yet, anyway.
So these are all the medical terms about da-da-da-da.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this
Alcohol numbs the pain.
The smarter you talk, the drunker.
He probably also laughs when we get to the picture
The
of
most chemical knowledge I have is that alcohol is a solution.
even teach Kai a few chiropractic moves that she can do on a few people.
Chiropractic.
Wow.
You got it! Hooray! I'm sorry. Do you know how long I've been sitting on that?
So the beginning.
Long.
Since the beginning.
This joke has been perceived. Although, theoretically, it could have been missed. Give me a minute.
Yeah, you can't do that with me.
I'll work on it.
What's that word where you're dual-handed?
Ambidextrous.
Wow.
Ambidextrous.
There you go.
Wow.
He is just drexed by everything.
Not very dexterous, are you?
There you go.
Pun roasts. Love it.
Left on, son.
Through the afternoon, eventually the afternoon begins to turn into the early hours of evening. And it's around this time you see coming from down the direction of back from where you came, back towards the gate of Foxtrot. You see a singular, rather large-looking wolf that's just kind of striding along the path.
Do we recognize it? That's right, because you were technically winter wolf.
This one is not that. It's not the white one.
I made friends with his entire pack.
This one is more like a
Bloodstone.
timber wolf,
Okay.
where it kind of has like the really soft, like gray,
One of the ones that knocks around it.
gray tops. Yeah. It's a single wolf, and it has two things on its back. It has like a harness-like backpack that kind of goes around the torso, and a kind of rather large backpack on the back. And then sitting behind and also on top of the backpack, kind of like leaning against it, kind of arms dangling off like to the side, just kind of fluttering in place, is a small girl, almost childlike.
This is strange.
Yes.
It's still quite a ways away, but you guys kind of, Percy especially with you kind of keeping usual lookouts, see this.
Guys, someone's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were expecting a Stoyo.
I don't think that's a Stoyo.
Unless a Stoyo suddenly
Unless a
decided
Stoyo
to
became an
change
Stoya.
I'm actually not gonna lie, I actually wrote down a Stoya instead of a Stoyo in my journal until you erased it. I'm all for him, but I think he also regressed in age.
Well, there's plenty of magics to change what you look like.
Stay frosty, hang tight.
That shouldn't be a problem.
He says with icicles out of his nose.
He's gonna pull his bag. In his bag, he's just gonna toss him his blanket.
Percy will quickly look, like, scan the, as far as he can, like the horizon and off to the sides, behind and to the sides of where it's approaching from,
Is
to
it
see if
approaching-
it's some kind of decoy or trap or anything.
Is it approaching from one of the forks, or is it approaching from Foxtrot?
So you guys are near kind of where the fork is. It's coming from the path of Foxtrot.
Okay.
So it's approaching you, heading
The same way
towards-
we came originally.
Yes. Percy, give me a perception check.
That is not good. That's a 2 on the die.
For what, a 13?
No, perception is not good for a 6.
6.
Can I use insight on the wolf to see if it seems hostile?
You can, but you would have to wait until it gets closer.
That's fine. I just want to gauge to see if it's hostile or not.
Okay.
I can go check it out.
Percy, as you're kind of
Good.
looking, you don't seem to see anything that would point to this being like a distraction or something like that. The side, but it's really hard to see, kind of.
His hand, like, he doesn't draw a weapon, but his hand reflexively, like, is that his hand crossbow at his hip. I mean, he's not drawing it because it's a little girl riding a wolf, apparently, but
There's little.
it's kind of like that sense where, like, the hairs on the back of his neck are standing up, like, this isn't adding up, something doesn't seem right.
There's little sparks of lightning across Knox's fingertips as he's trying to gauge whether or not this is a hostile situation or to stand down.
I think I'm going to, since everybody's kind of alert and paying attention to what's going on, I'm going to move towards it.
Okay.
Cautiously.
So you kind of start heading off of your campsite. Are you heading like
I'm
towards
gonna-
the fork road and then down the road, or are you just going like straight towards, not on the path?
I will go straight towards it.
Okay. Sure. So you begin approaching, and as you do, you get about 30 feet closer to it, and it kind of like raises its head up, and its ears kind of do the twitchy thing, and when it kind of looks over.
I am in human form.
Okay. It looks over in your direction, and it begins like running towards you, but not charging at you. It's just kind of like moving.
Is its tail wagging?
I will reply by howling.
Okay. Yeah, so Knox, go ahead and make an insight check. As it is within 30 feet of Theo, 60 feet of the group.
17.
17?
17, yes.
You fought wild wolves before, and you have known them to not be quite so like unstealthy. If they were hunting, usually they lurk and stalk and jump. Typically they're not out in the open, and if they are, usually they're not alone. So no criteria is kind of adding up to this being a like hostile, unless it's like an extreme like abnormality.
The sparks are gonna just start dissipating. He's gonna sit back and see what happens.
Theo, it comes right up to you, and after arriving, immediately it unwild shapes into Astoria.
He's really lucky I was right.
Percy cocks an eyebrow.
This is
Is the girl still on Azoya's back?
when he unwild shapes, she kind of like slugs off to the side, and when he comes out of it, she's like gripping onto his hand.
Who's...
You're closest to him because you're right next to him. The rest of you guys are back at the camp about 30 feet away.
Now he's gonna get up and approach about 10.
So he pops out and
Oh, it's good to see you.
yes, finally. Got a little lost on the way.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. This
It's
is
cold up here.
yes, it is.
Are you still wearing this oversized blanket that
Kind
I
of
Yes.
appears
you
around your
drown
corner,
in it.
or peers over your shoulder and kind of sees the rest of the group at the camp.
I just kind of wave.
He kind of puts a hand up, maybe his left hand. Do you mind if we go sit by
Sure.
the
Yeah,
flames?
yeah.
So they take a handful of seconds and they walk back and return to the camp. He kind of takes a seat close to the fire. The small girl that is with him kind of sits down in front of him and kind of holds her hands next to the flames.
You say small girl, are we talking like 4 or 5? Are we talking 10, 11? Are we talking Percy's age?
Probably around somewhere between like 8 and 10.
Okay.
Bigger than like a toddler,
Mhm.
smaller than a teenager.
Percy's probably leaning against a tree with his arms folded, just kind of like...
Would you wish for food?
I mean, if you have some.
Do we still have some of that mammoth left?
We have
A little bit, yeah.
mammoth.
Yeah.
Don't have to do an exotic sort of breed.
Yes.
Well, it is good to see you all in one piece. I assume your last month's endeavors before our meetup went successfully.
We made money.
Good. Money is always good.
Depended on the definition of success, yes.
Apologies for arriving so late. I meant to arrive yesterday, but I got held up in Foxtrot for the evening. We have a very nice accommodations there. Yes.
Does she have a name?
Yeah, he like looks like as you guys are all kind of looking. He kind
At
of
the elephant in the
places,
fucking
yeah,
room?
places his hand on her head. This is Anastasia. She kind of like raises her head up, and her hair kind of matches the same like dark toned that he has, but the inside of her irises are like white. She has like white pupils. This is Anastasia. This is my daughter.
So
answers
far
a lot
be
of
it from
questions.
me to be the one to point this out, but it doesn't seem like this mission would be the best place for her.
Maybe it's his weekend.
Once a weekend.
You are not
At the
wrong.
end of the week.
However, the two of us are stronger when we fight together.
Okay. Where's our pack?
They are currently dismissed until needed.
Oh.
He kind of like waves his hands.
Percy's like
Ow.
looking around still, like, yeah, they're here somewhere.
Oh, kind of like this. Hello, Bob Barker.
What is that?
It's a little dog.
Does he end up just walking into the fire again?
As its tongue just rolls out to the side.
Yes. That is not a dog.
He's seen some things.
You fought a giant.
He chewed on its shoe.
He tried.
Impressive.
It didn't break the skin.
He tried.
He definitely has a...
Personality?
Yeah. Call it that.
He tried.
Once there's food ready, he's gonna provide it to the both of them.
So, does she have special abilities like you?
Yes. Anastasia? She kind of like nods her head and immediately shifts, and she takes a familiar form of a large white wolf.
Oh! Oh, so that's her.
I had suspicions.
When she shifts, her eyes change back to blue.
Theo is impressed.
Kind of like sits and
I just kind of offer my hand like this. Screech.
You know, Knox has all kinds of medical journals. He might be able to fix that.
I assume you mean her eyes.
The whole thing?
There's nothing to fix there, Percy. She's perfectly fine. You've seen me do that.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask if you need Knox to check on you too.
There are some things that are normal, Percy.
No, it is all right. It is
That's
rather
like
unique.
saying-
She was born blind, but when she assumes her wild shapes, she regains her sight temporarily. Which is why she chooses to spend most of her time as a creature.
Okay, just because my eyes are solid white doesn't mean I'm actually blind. I think we all
We've
figured that out
established
by
this,
now,
but you
right?
tried to feed us that line, Theo.
We know. He's gonna
Yes.
he's
You
gonna
would not believe my surprise when I saw you for the first time. Stop it.
I let it go. Anyway, so
You,
the,
Elsa?
the moment she like wild shapes, he's gonna take a look at the plate and he's like, "This is too hot for dog." He's just gonna let it cool off for a second. As he's gonna hand a warm plate to Estoyo, and then once this is cooled off, he's just gonna hold it in front of her to
Thank you.
eat.
I suppose we should sit on the pleasantries for a moment, as we have things we need to discuss rather
We do.
quickly. So, approaching from this side was not my original plan.
Sorry about that.
We had a snafu in Foxtrot.
However, it is not impossible to proceed from this side. We could, but it would involve going up and then down.
Over the mountain.
Yes.
That sounds like an easy task for me.
Which the benefits would mean that would give us even more of a edge, a drop on the situation. We would be approaching from an angle not anticipated or expected. However, this side of the mountains is more dangerous. There are many creatures and monsters that wander these frigid wastelands rather freely because there are not a lot of places of civilization over
Ran
here.
into some polar bears.
Which is a polar bear.
A white bear.
It's a bear that's white.
Oh.
Kind of bigger
More
and,
aggressive.
and kind of the straight
Yes.
snout.
But bears, you said you fought giants.
Frost giant and a mammoth.
Things of that nature, potentially more worse or better. It's basically free territory in this tundra. There are no civilizations here
How
to ward
long
them
will
off.
it take us to get there this way versus your way?
If we go my intended route, we have to backtrack 3-4 days.
Ooh.
But would be a easier time. We would be less likely to encounter any creatures. I've already cleared a path. However, there's always a chance that because we approach from downward, going up, we could get caught in our final ascent.
Percy looks over at Daisy and Benny and he's like, well, if we do decide to go from this way, I don't know that they'll be able to go up and over the mountains.
They probably won't.
It was just
Foxtrot is only half a day away. You could take them to the stables and we could walk. Regardless of which way we go, I suggest that course of action.
How much money do you think you're gonna need for the stables?
I got enough.
But yes.
We still have the party money too.
That guy at the stables like me.
I'll dump the
What's his name? I can't remember
159.
now. Stable guy.
And
Foxtrot.
Yeah.
we
It's
have
not a big deal.
we have like 160 something gold in the party bag.
I have 155 of my own.
Well, whatever you pay, we can reimburse you from the party fund.
So, we could go this way and figure it out. Higher chance of stealth, however, more dangerous. But
It's whether or not the risk will outweigh the consequences.
Would it take us longer to go this way?
Normally, yes, but because we would have to backtrack going backwards, it will roughly take about the same time. Perhaps this way may be quicker.
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
It depends on how many things we find along the way.
I wouldn't say that around Drex, who'd probably get tongue-tied over the math.
Oh yeah.
That's a good point.
I didn't even think about math.
You don't even read.
Math is where you start with 2 bottles of alcohol, you drink one, and end up with just one.
That's not a problem for me.
But that's math.
I am so good at math!
I got this.
I math real good!
Yeah.
No one outmaths me!
Fox is gonna look at Astorio, and the look that's gonna cross his face is, maybe we could take the dangerous path and let the warning labels be removed.
So what do
But he
we
thinks better of it.
have to expect on the other side?
I assume you mean where Beatrice is currently located. There is an entrance to a cave that is sort of a winding road across the mountain. The outside of it is hard to spot if you don't know what you're looking for. It is blended pretty well into the snow-covered landscape. However, the outside is usually kept guarded by anywhere from 3 to 4 of the men that are stationed there. Inside, I know little, but not everything.
Does she have guards like, and you know, point to Anastasia in her wolf form, I assume she's still in wolf form, like that? Do you know? Wolves or other types of animals?
Perhaps. It would be less likely.
Just trying to figure out how easy it would be for someone of my skills to sneak past, so that maybe we could get a flank on them once we got there.
I think I could help with getting us past stuff.
I have 2 potions of invisibility too, but if they have scent, then I'm screwed.
Typically not, to my knowledge. They are creatures of the night, so they don't necessarily rely on creature companions as much as they rely on their brute strength.
So it means come nightfall we'd be in significantly more danger.
Okay, I'm trying to think of how Percy would approach this, because I know what Troy's thinking.
Take your time.
The creatures of the night, what exactly do you mean?
The things that hunt in the night, Percy.
That's what Troy figured, but
But they are not fully developed. They are not as strong. They have not quite come into their own yet. They are weaker. That is why they are on guard to be.
They still could prove enough of a challenge.
They will be tough, but not nearly as tough as the ones who are fully developed.
unfortunately we do not know the best way to fight these things.
As far as I would love to expedite this, but if we don't know how to successfully fight these, I
So
say
this-
we backtrack and take the safer route
this
so we
is
can
where-
conserve energy.
Perhaps I could... I've not spent this last month doing nothing. I've done my own research. These... Where I come from, we would call them night hunters, but the more common terminology is vampires.
Night Hunter sounds so weird. They get me more badass, not gonna lie.
When you refer things to nature rather than by name, it usually does so.
Then we're just a group of assholes.
Hey!
He just pats you on the shoulder.
Old books and legends and stories tell that these vampires, the sun used to be their worst enemy. Until a long time ago, when a bunch of mages decided to supercharge the moon, and the moon began giving off sunlight. The vampires basically were drove to the point of extinction, which caused a genetic mutation. This mutation allows them to thrive in sunlight. But moonlight, that hurts.
Interesting.
Basically swapped?
Seems that way.
It just seemed like when we encountered one of their kind, my weapons and normal tactics didn't work as well as they normally do. That's my concern.
If they are fully matured, their skin hardens, which makes regular blunt weapons not as effective. Yes. The younger ones, the weaker ones, it should not be a problem.
So that means if we fight them in the cave, it's not going to matter what time of day it is.
Is there any magic or something that we could use to create moonlight?
I don't know how vast your knowledge is of our druidic ways, but there's a spell that creates a beam of moonlight.
I know a little bit.
And this one is... So moonlight, for sure, is a weakness. The problem is that because the moon is supercharged with sunlight, and the sun is, well, the sun, natural moonlight is basically non-existent. So, artificial moonlight, hard to make, but can prove effective. There's also rumors of necrotic energy not mixing well with mutation. However, this is sort of a 50-50, where it will also either really hurt them or it will really help them.
Well, I'm sure you could probably teach me how to cast Moonbeam.
I can't do any of that. All I
could
can
show
do
you.
is stab them real hard or shoot them real good. Do you know how extensive this cave is? Is it a cave system? Is
It is. It is a network system, but it is not infinite. But it does hold, it is a base of operations. It is where Beatrice primarily operates, where they, to my knowledge, are currently studying the effects of the Matron mutation, which is this. They're figuring out ways to enhance it, make it go faster.
Don't need that.
But if you know how to make it go faster, you know how to make it go slower. I assume, I hope, that there are notes, there are research diaries, there are studies that perhaps could
Help?
help.
I'm not gonna lie, I want to get my hands on those. I'd love to study them.
And of course, divinite.
That's my big biggest concern. Everyone seems to want it nowadays.
It is quite valuable. Any object that can block a connection to the gods is a powerful object.
Divinite is not the same as the...
God shards?
Yes.
In a
Similar,
way,
but not the same.
in a way, they are the exact opposite.
One enhances godly powers, the
Gotcha.
other one.
My only concern.
Just wanted to clarify that. I didn't know if we were talking about like this is a cache of the god shards. Or...
Struck with the divinite.
It depends. If it is small in quantity, if it is like, say, made into a weapon, being hit by it could have temporary side effects that perhaps for a short amount of time it cuts off your divine connection.
My biggest concern is if I enter a large quantity in a cave.
Yes, a large quantity gathered in one location would project more of an aura.
Which would render me borderline useless.
Is there any way that we can draw her out?
That is what I'm trying to decide.
Out of the cave, probably not.
Out of the main divinite cache?
Out of the divinite room, hopefully.
As if not, I mean, I have been trained in
It's-
sword and board, but I would be significantly
Depending on what
nerfed.
type of protections they have.
But again, this would also require large quantities of divinite. And I know that this mountain holds it. It is just a matter of how far they've gone. Have they unearthed all of it? Have they unearthed it at all?
I am just trying to gauge the path of least casualties.
I would say expect it, prepare for it, but it is not a guarantee. There might not be any.
So this is a prepare for the worst
Who knows?
sort of scenario.
Divinite might have a negative effect on them. Maybe they don't want to go anywhere near it.
I
Same
know,
side, maybe it makes them stronger.
I know this idea probably doesn't sit well with certain people, and with this he looks over at Knox, kind of raises his eyebrows. He's like, but you know, I do have a certain set of skills. Maybe I could just slip in and take Beatrice out before anybody even knows what happened.
It is possible, but that'd be very, very, very
I think that
risky.
would be too dangerous.
Too risky.
It is a cave network. Without knowing where to go, the chances of getting caught are extremely high.
But on the side note, if we create a big enough diversion,
Have you ever taken out a vampire? I tried, but I didn't have it all. I have more weapons at my disposal now too.
These night hunters, their senses are more keen. Someone who is quite well bonded with wolves. I am accustomed to their sense of smell. It's very strong. Vampires are similar. Except it is not only their nose, but their eyes, their ears. They see farther, they hear farther. They're dangerous. However, if we do manage to kill Beatrice and drive them out, it will significantly cripple the Matron.
and significantly cripple Arcanium.
Not so much Arcanium, I don't know a lot, but Beatrice has her hold in the northern side. Matron herself runs Arcanium. Losing a henchman would hurt her, but not necessarily the city.
It will hurt a lot of trade relying on
It would halt her plans, I'm sure. What all have you guys learned in last month?
Not a lot about night hunters.
We've been very much preoccupied. I got new clothes.
I see that. I've also heard you have been getting yourself into trouble.
Never.
it.
This group? Always.
We're doing our best to get out of it.
not doing what I feel like we should be doing.
Yes, well, the tavern I stayed at the night at Foxruff had, the patrons had a lot to say about a group of adventurers who had just been passing through.
I did get to run through some trees.
Back in Miyoshi.
Yeah. That's where I got the clothes.
Oh, I almost forgot about the Hydra.
And the Black Dragon.
Right?
Yeah, I almost forgot about that.
And you are scared of a little vampire?
The Black Dragon wasn't
I mean,
unfriendly. It
The
wasn't.
dragon helped us.
Yeah, we made friends with the dragon.
Well, that's not a sentence you hear every day.
We hoped it killed the Ranger if we chased
yeah,
Or at least it didn't eat us.
yeah.
We'll see the Hydra again.
Did you save? So you saved the dragon, right?
Yeah, we saved the dragon.
So it owes you a favor.
More or
It
less.
wants us to help it with something, and then it will.
I mean, it still does owe us because we did. It's a well.
Complicated.
And
He sits back.
No. Having the dragon help us with Beatrice might be.
Oh, see. I knew we shared a connection.
I'm not gonna ask that dragon to come all the way up here.
It's a dragon, it can fly. What, it takes half hour?
How are we gonna find it?
I can contact it magically.
The same way. Yes, exactly.
But I mean, it's gotta.
Do you know its name?
I think it told us the name. I legit don't remember.
Knock point stairs, looks to Kai, who has keen
mind.
I don't remember.
I don't remember it saying a name, but maybe
It
it
said
did.
it
It
gave
probably
us
gave
something to call it.
Yeah, it gave us a name.
That was a while ago, man.
Yeah, I don't
Thelzar.
Thelzar?
Thelzar. Thelzar, the young black dragon.
Yeah. That. Nox is gonna look at, he's gonna blank and he's gonna
Yep.
go, and he's gonna go, Thels?
Thelzar.
Thels.
Thelzar. He knows where my grandpa is.
That name.
I forgot what he wanted us to do, though.
Totally,
He didn't tell us. He just said to come find you when we were ready to help.
That I totally remembered his name.
Because if we help him, then I get to go see my grandma.
I'm not saying that a black dragon would make our lives easier, but I'm also saying a black dragon would make our lives much easier here.
Who needs to sneak and get a black dragon with blood?
Yes.
Percy's just slowly shaking his head.
Speak and be heard, Percy.
There seems to be enough evil where we're going. We don't need to invite more.
I don't think this one's evil. I don't think Thelzar's evil.
Yes, typically dragons eat people. The fact that you survived not eaten is a good sign. They are also creatures that uphold loyalty. Most of them.
This
Yes.
one seems to have a connection with Kai's family.
Of some sort.
So it has a screw loose, got it.
Hey!
I
I take
resemble that
offense to
remark.
that!
But is she wrong?
We'll talk about that later. You can, but if the shoe does fit, I've met your family.
My family's weird, but we're not crazy.
That's a fine line.
It is. But we're not crazy.
Very fine line.
We're just odd.
Point stands.
My mom always referred to families like yours as eccentric.
I
think
live
the
with
dragon
a pack
helped
of
us.
magical conjured animals. I don't judge.
We literally cannot.
You want crazy? There you go, right there.
Hey. Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
You can resent that statement, but I think you resemble that statement.
Percy,
I don't like it.
I understand, but your profession is
I've always
essentially
wanted to be a patron.
evil in nature, but you have turned your abilities to good. A dragon could do the same.
You know, on that
are
note,
innately evil, though.
you know, I could say the same thing.
I mean, technically so are people.
We did not meet on the best of terms.
That's true.
He makes a valid point.
I'm not so keen on working with you either, but I kind of don't have a choice right now.
You could have kept walking north.
Yeah, that was no.
I will note, Estoyo, I kept trying to tell them that we should reach out to you.
I get it, you know, it was a month. Sometimes you forget what we talk about.
It just kept getting
You
colder.
know, you fought a Hydra, you fought a dragon.
I don't forget.
Things get jumbled.
We fought
I don't
wyverns.
forget.
You can keep saying it all you want, Kai. It's not going to change anything.
What's done was done.
It's going to be
I mean,
met with
what-
the same resounding indifference.
So let's weigh the consequences. Okay, let's say we contact the dragon. What are the bad sides? What is the worst case scenario?
It
He
comes
kills
up
us.
and eats us.
We get eaten by a dragon.
Do you think we could kill it?
No. Maybe.
I don't know. It wasn't
Before we
pretty.
get to the vampires or after we get to the
Well-
vampires?
No, it would definitely kill us before we went anywhere.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So before.
No,
At this point,
I
it's
am
full
completely
strength.
against that.
Well, I mean, if it came here and attacked us, we, you know, not just going to lie.
Yeah, well. This is a
Well, we're just
self-defense.
hypothetically. The worst case scenario would be it comes here and attacks us. Yes, that is worst case scenario.
That's worst
Probably
case.
kills
Or
us.
if it gets put under a spell to make it hostile, yes.
Okay, what is the best case scenario?
It helps us, and it doesn't kill a whole bunch of people.
Well, it will probably kill the vampires if it helps us.
Vampires
Well,
are fine.
Okay, did we really consider
I mean, we're gonna do that
Are we
ourselves.
going to consider the vampires people at this point?
They were, but they made their choice.
So,
Most
then
of
they're
them.
not really people.
How's a dragon? Is the cave big enough to fit a dragon?
I'm pretty sure if there's a dragon,
Can't
then
they
it's-
can't they change their shapes and stuff?
I think that's
you know,
older
like we
ones.
can?
Percy's just like,
How old is this dragon?
Well,
They seem
At least
pretty
an
young.
adult.
We're not entirely sure.
Well, then if it's young, then it's small, and it should fit. And if it can't, if it just blows the door down and
Yeah.
waits outside, then you know that's a hell of an entrance. That's a scare tactic.
Get his hand in it.
Okay.
And
But also,
so
we
that's-
also have to consider dragon part of this equation, or not. Go over the mountain, potentially more risky.
So there's the
cost
middle ground.
effective.
Yes. So the high ground is the best outcome. Is it helps us kill them. We have a very powerful ally. This is much easier. Worst case is it says it'll help us. It comes here and eats us. It tries to kill us. The
However,
middle ground is maybe it doesn't want to either, but maybe it can at least fly us to the mountain.
that is fair. But we still stand the risk of depleting our energy if we go over the
Right.
mountain before we even get there, or risk severe harm or death before we get there. But also, if we backtrack, we potentially lose a few days, but it could be significantly safer. But also,
You get spotted. Go on.
the dragon also is a potential wrench in things, because that's going to draw a shit ton of attention.
This is true.
Yes, but again, it is a scare tactic. Perhaps it is a good intention.
That is fair, but it's there is no clear right answer.
No. There are only possibilities.
It is what risks we are willing to take.
plus, I mean, we already are indebted to how many different people? If we ask this dragon to help us, now we have another person we are
Well,
indebted to.
technically, we already
Technically.
helped it.
Technically, it is
us.
indebted to you.
Yeah, but then whatever other
Favor.
favors we wish to call in,
Favor for
we
favor.
can't call in.
Well, it's
It's already asking for another favor from us.
yeah, it's
Well.
asking for us to help it. To in exchange for helping it, it would
Help me.
help Kai. And it does owe us.
But it's just, do we want to use that favor on this?
It would. I probably sound biased, but
You
It's probably 'cause
biased?
you are.
I could never tell.
In a
As he's-
situation
as
like
he's
this,
scratching the
in a
wood.
secluded location in the mountains, what's a better place to call a dragon?
So, real quick, because I'm afraid that Troy is using player knowledge instead of using Percy knowledge. Are dragons innately evil in this world? Because most settings in D&D, the chromatic dragons are evil and the metallic dragons are good.
The same is true here.
Okay.
Generally.
And especially black dragons being the worst of the bunch.
Chaotic evil.
Yeah. Typically, the fact that it did not kill you and in fact wanted to see you again kind of immediately was a
Outlier.
yes.
So I just want to make sure that I'm playing Percy's
Yes.
opinions on the
Yes.
matter properly.
Inherently, most chromatic dragons are evil. Because Tiamat does exist in my world, in an even higher position of power than she normally is, you would say that translates to chromatic dragons being that much
Douchey.
more evil. Same is true in reverse, though. The metallic dragons are that much more good. Because in my world, the lore is that metallic dragons were crafted by the gods to, after the first war, when the gods helped mankind, the destruction that they left from getting involved directly was much too high. And so they took the fallen husks of the primordial dragons and ripped them apart and put new souls in them, which became the metallic dragons.
So they are the bastions of good and protection.
Yes. Yes. And the souls that were ripped out of the primordial dragons were cast aside, and they became their own planes of existence. So the primordial fire dragon, its soul turned into the fire plane, the water plane,
Gotcha.
things of that nature.
I don't know that Percy would know that deep of the lore, but he would know that.
Yeah.
Generally.
Probably knows at least that much.
More of just a fun fact.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So Percy will kind of, as you guys are discussing this, he just walks over and back, leans up against the tree with his arms folded. He's like, I don't like it. Don't like it. Bad juju. And he'll just leave it at that.
Goodness, what else did we fight?
Regardless of how this goes, this is like one of my favorite things in D&D is introducing like new possibilities that are so heavily swinged one side or the other, where it's like this is either incredibly good or this could go horribly wrong.
And Troy just doesn't know which way the GM's going to take it.
Yes, but
Percy's thinking
continue.
it's an evil dragon.
There's a counter offer. I could send a message to see if it would even be open to the idea, if it would even be capable of achieving such a thing. Because if it is not even capable of leaving at this moment, or it's indisposed of, then it's one less thing we will have to address. If it's not even going to be a part of the equation.
I concur.
Have you ever accidentally, like, when you use that spell, like, got somebody while they're on a shitter or something?
I don't know.
Not
Or,
what?
like, in the middle of, like,
Fornication, yes. Yes.
Oh, I'm sure she's talked to lots of people that are in the middle of fortifications.
right.
We were fortifying the other night.
We're not going there.
Drex slowly cracks whip.
You truly never know what the other person's doing when you contact them. You get a lot of interesting responses. We'll leave it.
I'm still sorry about yelling and screaming at the one.
That's fine. You can yell and scream in person. That's a completely different thing.
Ah! Sorry, you gave me the opportunity. I didn't want to waste it. Anyone else?
Two of you.
Thank you.
Kai just kind of sits up next to it and Asia just scritches. I just find that spot right above her sternum. Start going.
There's a difference between screaming that you know is screaming and just screaming in your mind. One is significantly more painful.
I'm sure the screaming in the mind is really bad.
But yes, funny story. That I caught a few people in the middle of deeds.
Fun.
On purpose or on accident.
That's up for debate.
To get back to our conversation, I think the dragon is something that we should still consider. I understand your reservations, Percy, but
Like it.
I think it's an option that we should consider.
I mean, I know the dragon owes us, but at the same point, like,
I mean,
I don't wanna push my luck.
concerned about it as well, but
this is the one
I
connection
mean,
I've
here's the
got.
thing. We don't know how much we can trust it. Maybe it says it'll help us, and then at the penultimate moment, it
Percy, you
decides to turn on us and take us out too.
You never know how well you can trust anyone until you give
Thing
chance
about
to
me.
show trust.
Right,
I mean,
but
or-
I'm saying we're going into an incredibly dangerous situation. Why throw a complete complete unknown into the equation? At least now we know who we got, what we got, and what we can deal with.
But if the same is true in reverse, if the enemy knows what we have, and we throw a curveball in, then they don't know it's coming either.
kind of like the three-headed thing that we ran into back in Arcanium. The thing with the different heads.
I know what you're talking about.
It was in the cage that got loose and practically killed
chimera.
you and me and Guy.
Oh, yeah, the chimera.
I remember.
Yeah, I had that.
I mean,
That was
Chimeras,
fun.
hydras, wyverns, dragons.
Chimeras, you know.
Who are you people?
oh my.
Oh, wait till you just see some fun stuff.
Oh, this isn't the fun stuff, right?
I will run over to the cart, pull off the gator claw.
That is a big fucking gator.
Yeah,
This came off a really big gator.
We fought
Oh,
the
I
big
hope so.
gator before we fought the Hydra.
Like, immediately before.
Where was this?
So the
Children's
gator.
rest?
I'm never going there.
It's probably a good idea.
It's where I'm from.
What
I'm
Cashin
sorry.
always taught me is,
It's a marsh.
and this is a question I still struggle with today, which is more dangerous, the enemy you know or the enemy you don't know?
But I think we know the dragon to some extent. I mean, sure, we haven't palled around with it.
Yeah, what we know of dragons is they're evil and they'll eat people.
And I was
And
ready.
yet it did not eat you.
Right.
It wants
It
to
was
see us
weak at
again.
the time too.
It also wants to see us
True.
again, though.
And I was also raised
For help,
by
perhaps to
my
eat you.
mentor
That's what I was thinking.
to exploit any available resource to gain the upper hand. However, the dragon essentially is the ace in our hand should we ever choose to play this long game that we're playing.
I mean, the very rain can be evil. So it's just a matter of how it hits.
Rain's not evil. Rain makes the hops grow.
What if
But
it's acid
rain, when
and
it
the
comes,
wheat and the corn.
but when rain comes down hard enough, it can destroy crops.
Oh, we never had that problem in Oya.
Oh, well,
Do you think cats are evil?
yes,
They can
Yes.
be.
Yes.
yes. Have you ever seen them on a table that's knocking shit off?
They are assholes. Yes. Are they evil?
Yes.
Not inherently, no.
You're not helping the situation.
I am biased from the fantasy backseat, so I have to sit out of this conversation.
Okay, let's just change. Dogs. Are dogs evil?
No, I love dogs.
No! Scratches
I
Anastasia's
love
chest.
dogs. Actually,
Not inherently. They're
Animal-
also not highly intelligent beasts like dragons either.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I've actually met some really, really smart dogs.
Not saying they're not smart. I can talk to them, but
I mean, you've seen me turn into a wolf.
Right. And I'm not saying they're not smart. I'm saying
What-
they're not highly intelligent
Percy,
like
what-
dragons.
Percy, what he's getting at is things are not always inherently evil.
It is perspective. To us, a dog is not evil. But to something like a bunny, a dog is a monster.
The question is, are we the bunnies to the dragon?
We don't know.
Exactly.
So,
I'm not. Let me clarify here. This is Percy saying this. Troy's like all for it. Like, yeah, dragon on our side, let's go. But
And-
Percy's like,
No.
And we're trying to
This isn't
we're trying to
Draconic.
convince Percy that
right. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were all aware of that. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
dragon on our side? Yeah, love it.
Nox,
This
But
is
Percy's
Regalia
like,
where I can just
no.
snap my dragon in.
Nox is also balancing this out as you are 13
Mhm.
and your visions for how this world is
Are not fully developed yet.
and you have morals and ideas, and so Nox is trying to respect that,
Mm-hmm.
but also trying real hard not to go, child.
I mean, being part of a thieves guild, Percy has probably seen more inherent evil
Than the rest of
within
us?
his organization than
See, and that's the insight he's bringing here is usually when you do a mission or obtain an objective, it's best to go on your own because then there's nobody to stab you in the back.
yeah. Well, we don't.
Whereas that's what he's worried about with the dragon. He's looking at it from an assassin's perspective. If that dragon's with us, there's somebody that can stab us in the back. If there's not, then we're better off.
And Nox is approaching this from a completely different standpoint of using what you have to gain leverage.
Oh, right. I get it.
There,
We would make a very dangerous duo once we both.
Theo looks at this as there are potential allies in every walk of life. So, while he still prefers to err on the side of being a hero, Theo's like, a dragon can be a powerful tool to
Right.
help us.
Yes.
And let's not forget that Percy was mad originally that we didn't try to kill the dragon in the first place, and he voiced his concern to Nox about that just a day or two ago.
Right.
That why did we even let that thing live, and now you guys want to invite it to
Good.
fight with us.
Kai doesn't want to invite it to fight with us because she doesn't want to push her luck with the last connection she's got, possibly to her grandfather. So
Yeah.
Kai is just kind of like, I'm staying out of this, but I've made my
I
point here
mean,
where I don't
at some
know
point
they're
we may
there.
want to go back and help it do whatever it is it wants to do to...
I mean, I know I do.
What we're really gaining from this, I'm breaking from Nox
Yeah,
because
Yeah,
Nox
that's
is
kind of what
not-
I was trying to do too, just so we could discuss it.
It's
Well, while you guys discuss, I'm gonna go get some. Go get him real quick.
it
wanna do anything?
ultimately comes down to
No,
us
okay.
as a group
Uh,
of what
I do
we
wanna-
want
Collin,
to
you can do it.
use for the greater
Can you
good.
grab me a
Right.
root beer?
What we are willing to do for the greater good. Whether that's do stuff what is inherently what we
It's been
think,
like 3 hours.
what most people think is wrong, but is it wrong if the ends justify the means?
Right.
Sort of.
That's what we're trying to
Right.
get to as a group.
Right.
And Nox is not that eloquent.
Right.
And
And
so
that's
I have
what
to chuck
and
that
that's
to
like
the
the
side.
whole like conversation we had last week was Percy doesn't want to compromise his morals ever again because he's already felt like he's compromised them too many times. And so now he's basically being asked to compromise his morals again. Which is why he's like, nope.
Joey, what'd you say you wanted?
I struggle with the idea of somebody who's
Again,
trained as an assassin.
having morals.
Well, no, not necessarily having morals,
Having
but
such good morals.
having morals that are so rigid that you can't accept the idea of gray areas.
I'm not saying he doesn't have that. I'm saying
He's also 13.
Yeah,
You like when you're 13, you don't really understand the concept of gray areas and morals. You're starting to understand, but you don't have a firm grasp.
but at 13 your morals aren't really established
No.
to that extent. To where they are just immobile to anything.
But also, he started at a young age, and so there could have been things
I
just
bought
drilled
these.
into his
That's
head.
true. That's true.
It's been like
Thank you.
3 hours.
So.
And so that's what I'm approaching it as. Is he didn't just come into this. He came into this at a very, very young and very, very impressionable age. And so he's probably created hard stances. It's because he hasn't seen gray areas. He's seen one or the other.
He basically, wouldn't compromise his morals for Sarsha as part of the Assassin's Guild. And so,
Oh, got my head.
And Theo's outlook, I
That was me
mean,
last night seeing Shang-Chi.
Theo basically lives in the gray areas.
Right.
I mean, he grew up on ships among sailors.
Knox was born and raised in the gray
I mean,
areas.
he's probably experienced some piracy and stuff like that. So, I mean,
think of Percy as a male Laura Ingalls Wilder who was sent to the Assassin's Guild but would not compromise her morals for the Assassin's Guild.
So more like an Almanzo.
yeah, no,
Her husband?
I would have trouble putting that together because
It was
I
just
don't
more
want to say
Almanzo-
Percy's
Almanzo
levels.
Wilder.
Laura Ingalls
He's
Wilder,
not at
her
that
morals
level,
were
but-
pretty flexible.
No.
I mean, that's not the only thing flexible, but I digress. Okay, so we just, as a group, as a whole,
So that's where, again, to clarify, Troy thinks there'd be nothing freaking cooler than riding into this freaking cave on the back of a dragon. Percy is like, I wanted to kill the dragon in the first place, and I mean, the rest of the party doesn't know the conversation Ian Knox had about not compromising his morals anymore.
right.
And now you're asking him to bring a dragon in that he wanted to kill in the first place.
yeah, and so
So
just
he's like, nope.
out of
don't wanna
character,
do it.
out like in character without being in character, so we don't wander around the bush anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Raise your hands if you are against bringing the dragon in.
Percy is.
Okay.
I just don't want to push it. I mean, it's the one connection I got to my family that I haven't seen.
Okay. So, would it be potential if we just contact the dragon, see if it would even be a possibility?
I mean, that's fine. I just,
Stoyo is 100% on the for the dragon side.
Of course she is.
I mean, you've made that very clear.
Okay.
But Kai's like,
Okay, so hypothetically, let's just take the dragon out of the equation right now. Okay.
in case it says no.
We are focusing so much on this one thing. Let's shelve that and focus as if the dragon said no. Right? What would we do then?
I will have you return to character for this, though.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get us to.
So Nox has said that aloud.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, do we take the more dangerous road to get the drop, or do we take the cleared path and risk getting caught?
I think.
Well, and the other thing is, as I've said before, I have means of, okay, you don't like the idea of me slipping in and trying to take out Beatrice on my own, but maybe I can slip in and do some reconnaissance and get an idea of the layout and where she might be in there.
That I would be more open to, but taking her on by yourself, I would not feel
Oh, it wouldn't necessarily be taking her on. It'd be going in and trying to get one good shot and then getting the F out of there, was my thinking.
It's
But
still
I could go in and I could try to slip in and do reconnaissance and come back and
after
give us an idea.
reconnaissance, we could have a different idea instead of just going in blind.
But yes.
I mean, I think reconnaissance is always a good idea, because the more we know, the better we can prepare.
I think going over the mountain is our best option.
So we can sneak and get the
While,
drop.
while it is more dangerous, it gives us more advantage.
This, I agree.
I agree with that.
once we get close, Percy and I can recon.
It's true, because you can become something kind of small.
And I'm sure Estoyo can as well.
Yes. I am hesitant. I don't think we should send too many bodies in.
Agreed.
And the other thing is it might use up a lot of your powers that you'll need for the fight.
Well, I would hope that there would be some period of time between the recon and the actual fight.
There might be, but things could go awry, and
That's always a possibility as Theo looks at Drex.
I assume that going over the mountain wouldn't be too much of a difficulty for Drax,
No.
or for Estoyo, or for Theo, because you guys can shift into things that can move fast and survive the weather. So it'll basically just be the three of us that really have to worry about the arduous journey.
That's what
And he kind of looks at Anastasia quizzically, like he doesn't know how often she can do. If she can do the shifting like Estoyo as much as he does or not.
She is thick for her. She'll be okay.
That's my point.
I just kind of snuggles into the side of the big white wolf.
That's my point of concern. I know I'm outvoted on this. I would feel better taking the longer route and risking a chance of capture just from a healer's standpoint. But
Well,
from my own standpoint, it would be more effective to get the drop to gain leverage.
we have to take the horses back to Foxtrot. Is there something there that we could get that would help?
Climbing gear, if we don't have it, we may need it.
I think that's true. Extra rope, pythons.
I mean,
Maybe an extra
we
blanket
don't,
or two.
we don't know
Yes.
what we're going to come up against.
I
As
mean,
far
I'm
as
not saying
terrain.
we can't go the other way. I'm just saying would that.
Unless you can fly and check things out.
Yeah, it's
Just
just
level
it's
8 that druids get.
I believe so.
the chances
Yeah, it is.
of risk of failure is higher this way, but also the risk can benefit more reward.
His statue real quick.
And we can go over the mountains. We can.
I'm not saying we have to. I'm just trying to say that.
We
Is there
are-
something that we could get back in Foxtrot that would ease your worries? Because we do have to go back to Foxtrot to take
Just
Daisy and Benny no matter
short,
what.
so-
If we could get some sort of climbing gear or
I
an
didn't
extra
think he was too much
blankets,
higher than me.
it might make it easier to double up. Blankets will have to, get really comfortable sleeping close together to conserve body heat.
We
Water isn't an issue because Theo can create water.
we will need to travel light if we're going to go over the mountain.
I can take a spell, create food and water,
Yeah, food and water shouldn't be a problem.
but it also would deplete our magical resources for such a
We
thing.
could bring at least one relatively large backpack. Anastasia, when she shifts, her shifts are not limited by time.
Was she
That
born
creates...
human or...
Who is her mother?
It's a story for another day.
Okay.
Fair.
Okay.
But
I mean, I thought I was human.
sort of.
From a
She's a hybrid.
From
Oh.
from a medical standpoint, your daughter is very fascinating.
She gained many powerful gifts. But the law of equivalent exchange. You lose what you gain.
Hence the eyesight
That's it.
thing.
Probably among other things. That's a conversation we can have. Okay, so
But once we get close and scout things out, maybe we'll have a better idea as to whether or not we want to include other resources.
if we can, but also at the same time, it would take it would take longer for them to get there, if we even have that luxury.
It's true. But again, I mean, if we just check things out, see what's going on. If we need to, we can back off.
But if it is willing to help, and it can fly us up there, then we save tremendous amounts of time.
And still get a surprise.
Yes.
Yes.
So instead of asking us to potentially fight, use it as a ferry service?
Well, if it's gonna come this far, we might as well.
Like I said,
use
that could be the middle ground. Perhaps it does not want to help, but it does not want to,
Hinder?
hinder. Yes, maybe it just gives us a lift and says, okay, here you go.
So we boom.
Best case, it helps us. Middle ground, it flies us. Worst ground, it
Yeah.
tries to kill us. However, Amradorn could come from just asking. Worst they can do is say no.
From my experience, a lot can come from this asking.
Don't tell me.
There are ears that are not ready for such stories.
Puts his hands over Anastasia's ears.
That's a conversation we can have later, should you still be curious. Anyway, I can ask, would you be alright with that, Percy, if it is even willing? Not asking to help, but asking if it would even be a possibility.
I'm taking a long time because I would think Percy would take a long time in this situation and really think about it. He's like, I don't like it, but I guess if all it's going to do is fly us there, I can live with it.
Is that when you'd be comfortable?
It wouldn't be comfortable, no, but
That's what you
I could accept it.
Better than I expected.
He's gonna sigh and he's just gonna tap you square in the chest and he's gonna go, I know. He's gonna get up and he's gonna take just a couple steps away just for
Brevity's sake.
brevity's sake, just to cast sending without everyone else just within arm slapping reach.
Hey, don't forget.
Cast the sending.
Yeah, sending to
That dragon's name.
what's the dragon's name? 'Cause I want to keep calling it Thurstoon.
Felzar.
Philzar.
Thurstoon is what we killed on Sundays.
I know, I keep wanting to
You killed
call
a part of there.
Sorta.
And like I said, that's what my brain wants to keep calling him. To sound.
Never get old and fat.
You like it weird?
This is Nox. We are one day out, or half day out of Foxtrot. Would you be willing to fly us into mountain range? I think that was right around 25.
Nox. I remember your face. I remember your voice. You still feel the connection of the spell. You just feel there's a long pause.
Purposely left.
He's gonna wait till the connection ends, and then he's going to send another one.
It hasn't ended yet.
Yeah,
It's still there. It's
he's-
just, yeah. So you
He's
sit.
purposely drawing out.
He's waiting.
It's either gonna end or he's gonna finish responding.
Yeah, and he's gonna get a sheer look of eye twitch annoyance. He's worse than
I do owe your group a debt. Negotiations can be arranged. You feel the connection.
I'm gonna send him one more time to him.
Okay.
Would negotiations need to happen in person? If so, how soon could you get here?
What?
He's going to trudge back. Good news! He is willing to ferry us to the mountain.
He said he's willing to negotiate.
He's willing to negotiate. Better news, or bad news, he is already on his way.
What? Yeah, nope. So I was like in the middle of like taking a drink and it just.
I just kind of.
It's happening!
Percy's glad he
You
was
get
standing
to
back
meet
by the tree.
Pelzar. I just kind of snuggle in closer to, even closer to Anastasia because she's warm.
Good, bad news. Negotiations still need to be had. Good news, bad news. He's already on this one.
Okay.
I wasn't exactly.
Percy does the rock eyebrow that Troy can't do, but the
Yeah.
That's minorly well.
So
That was a little unexpected.
it's really weird talking to a dragon in my brain. Not one of the things I ever thought I would be doing in my lifetime, but then again, nothing up to this point is what I thought I would be doing in my lifetime, but yet here I am. He is very intimidating, even just a voice.
Did he say when he was getting here?
No, he just said he was on his way, and I did not ask how soon. It's just like asking your parents on a road trip.
You're
if you're
mid-sentence
very
in conversation and you hear a click in your head.
He just folded his hand.
A day out of Foxtrot. In which direction?
Half day.
Half day north. Turns out he can talk too.
Well, he is a dragon.
Yeah, I didn't know he could just.
They have magic.
Yes, but now
See?
I have a feeling I've
think so.
opened a door that I did not want to open.
Check this out. Bucket list. You came with the dragon through your
You
head.
gave him your name. Maybe I should change.
I gave him a name.
Don't put on a Speedo, Theo. Please don't.
You would freeze.
I'm always wearing it.
Maybe leave your clothes on this time.
I mean, he's wearing 2 blankets. It's not like we can exactly tell what he's wearing right now.
I would recommend more.
My blood is pumped! Either this is going to be really cool, or, you know, if I die, eaten by a dragon, not really way to go.
I mean, he's got a point.
Hey, while we're waiting, do you want to teach me Moonbeam?
I can show you. Do you have the,
It's a level 2 spell.
Yeah. do you have, how do you cast your magic?
Well, I usually, when I get up in the morning, I kind of prepare what I feel like I might need based off of what's available.
Do druids have like innate not innate casting, but
They
like
have to have
do
a
they
druid
need
focus.
Yeah, do you need a focus?
Yes.
They need
That's
focus
what
and
he's
components.
that's
Yeah.
what he's kind of getting at is what
Oh.
your focus.
And I hold up the little vial of salt water that I can wear around my neck.
Ah, okay. Yes.
Either that or the giant
It's
Squiggly staff.
it should be possible.
Do not use that squiggly stuff.
All you need is
That rod has done way too much damage.
I've got some ideas for it, Drex.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
he kind of reaches into one of his bags that's on the ground, and he pulls out like a handful of like tiny seeds. He has about 6 of them, and he just kind of like reaches out and drops 3 of them into your hand. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Once you have it prepared, use your focus. Once you learn it, you won't need the seeds. This is more just a demonstration.
Oh, okay.
He kind of takes the 3 that are in his hand and he crushes them together, and he blows the dust into the air. And as he does, like this like makeshift ring of clouds begins to form, and a beam of light just.
Wow. I'll have to try that in the morning.
Yeah, just be careful where you point it, because it and he kind of moves his fingers in the beam.
Ooh. Light writing.
He begins drawing a dick.
Maybe this isn't something.
He uses the full 60 seconds to sculpt a moonbeam dick into the ground.
Percy, do you see that?
Yeah? He drew that with light!
That's also not atomically correct.
I'm drawing with fucking magic, okay? Give me a break.
Kinda small, isn't it?
He looked.
It's cold around here.
Oh goodness!
Druids understand druids.
He looks at him and he's like, I could give you a break, but I genuinely don't think you would survive.
That's pretty good.
We still need to take horses and wagon back.
Right.
Well, I will be here to greet.
I should probably be here too, dragon.
Percy, I'll go with you.
I gave it my fucking. Why did I give it my name? Why did
I could go with you, but I really want to see the dragon again.
That's fun. What kind? It's not like Drax and I can get in any trouble in Foxtrot.
How's it go?
Is it done? What? Is it done? What? Wait, yep.
Yes. Oh. I assumed you spent the morning finishing.
Oh, yeah.
Your snake bone whip.
Percy just pats Knox on the arm. Like, don't worry, I won't let Drax get in any trouble.
Is he
It'll be fine.
Is it going to be the same as the?
Is there any
Regular
supplies we need? Or anything anybody would like me to look for before we...
Extra blankets.
I like the tent.
Blankets and climbing gear.
Will we need that even if we're...
Even if we need to climb back down the mountain, having the climbing gear is probably not a bad idea.
It wouldn't hurt.
Well, it's about a half-day travel, so...
Fun fact, Percy has...
How many more times can you, I don't know, use your magic to... That's all we need. After we negotiate with the dragon, if we're still alive, Nox can just contact you and be like, yes, we need this. No, we do not.
Okay.
Or would
That's
you
fair.
prefer to be here when we're talking to...
Oh, well, I mean, once more today. Tomorrow I can do it 3 more times.
So that
You know,
can
on the
have
one
him-
hand, I'd like to be here for the negotiations. On the other hand, I'd rather not be here. So, I'll just go back to town.
Knox
I'll
is
go
going to
with
go
you.
over to his shield. He's going to pry off his badge from his shoes. He's going to walk over to you and go, "'Cause I trust you." He's going to pin the badge back to your chest.
Ow! Oh! Okay.
Because out of everyone, you're more deserving of this than I am.
I'm gonna check the one bag from the hall.
Thanks.
See if there's anything in it.
I won't ask you to
Because
compromise
we've
your
been telling
morals.
people to contact us through the
Yeah,
hall.
it's probably best if I'm not here. I'm afraid I might get mad at that thing.
You open it up,
So.
and there's nothing
You're
there.
more beneficial of it than I am.
Does anybody? I have 155 gold. So if we want climbing gear and stuff, I'll probably need a little bit extra money.
I reach into the party bag I'm holding and pull out,
Back after our canyon.
what, 60, 70 gold, do you think?
A climber's kit, I looked it up a minute ago, is 25 gold per kit. Percy already has pythons and
Okay, yeah.
rope, so he would just need. Of course, he only has 50 feet of rope, but
I will give Percy 200 gold.
Plus 1 to charisma.
I'll just make a note in my No, I'll put it in notes. I will only use it if necessary.
Did you crack your screen or is that a scratch?
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
I think it's a plus 1.
Alright.
I don't own like anything a crack on it because I
Yeah,
get
this
told
is
to.
this
I
is-
didn't chip in when everybody helped with the end
What?
thing, so
Theo
We can
still have
decide.
some
gave
The ring that
We
we
got
got
back from
way
100
back
back
when
from our
we were
canyon.
GP.
From that dude.
And how much are we? Am I taking from the party gold? 60? Did you say?
Amulet of kindness.
I was gonna give you 60 or
Yeah.
70 from the party bag.
60 GP from party bag.
Because we never
Party fund.
actually addressed it, we kind of just shoved it in one of our
What was it? What was it from?
bags.
We got it after our canyon. From helping what's his name?
What's his
Oh,
name?
Shane.
Yeah! Shane.
that dude, that
Yeah, that
amulet,
guy.
amulet or ring or something.
Yeah, I thought
we
it was
never
No.
actually again dealt with it.
Yeah, we've had it and nobody's messed with it.
I think we were going to give it to Drex, but I just kind of hung on to it until we decided what to do
Yeah.
with it.
What was the
know what
name
it
of it?
does.
I think so. That's why we're.
Nope. Don't remember the name.
It's a ring of invisibility.
Ah!
The only thing I remember that I'm pretty sure did something with charisma.
That's the only thing I remember.
Oh, that would have been helpful.
Considering I'm a charisma-based character.
Yeah, no, I totally forgot it existed until he brought it up.
Yeah, I just remembered.
Does anyone have it written down? What it is or what it was?
Boop, 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 doop, boop, boop, doop.
'Cause I have two magic items that I've kept track of that you guys possess. One of them is the staff.
The other one is the mystery dagger in the party bag.
Wait, what?
Oh, I forgot about
When did we get a dagger?
that.
Pulled it off one of the bodies. You guys have had it for like 2 months.
Yeah, we've had it for a while.
I don't ever
We've had
remember
the
getting
ring
a dagger.
either as long or longer.
Longer. I do remember Shane giving you one.
I can't remember what the hell it was. No.
Yeah, I don't have it written down because I only really record things that are from Theo's perspective.
Right. And I only write down stuff when I get it.
The person that I expect to have would be that one over there.
So I probably have a note of that we received a ring, but I don't have.
Did we not
any-
inspect the dagger at all?
We didn't have any means of.
Identifying it.
Do we now?
Knowledge Arcana?
Not me.
Well, because you guys lack the ability to identify, because I don't believe any of you can take that. I know druids can. I don't think clerics can either.
Forge clerics get it, but only forge clerics.
Warlocks also cannot. So
Identify?
Yeah.
So in light of that, if someone would like to make a Arcana check, I will tell you out of the gate it is a pretty high check, because the dagger is a powerful magic item.
Well, I've only got a +1. So
Yeah, I'm gonna say both. So I can
I'm
try.
sorry. What are we looking for?
the dagger. I'm sure.
Arcana.
I have a
plus-
+1, but
I
I'm
have a
not
+2.
proficient.
I have a +2, but I'm not proficient.
Dagger.
+1.
I don't think I would let you roll, only because you do not have any inherent access to magic.
That's fair.
I too
Same with you, Percy.
have a +1.
So the three of you,
Wow.
if someone
To
someone would
Arcana.
like to roll.
Well,
It's a dagger of vampire slaying. It does an extra 2d10 versus vampires.
It's just whoever wants to roll.
Let me know if you ever find
It'd
that ring,
probably
'cause I
be
don't
more
remember.
likely used
I'm not
since you
seeing
are
it.
probably more likely to use it.
Me either. No, I know nothing about this dagger.
You rolled a natural 1?
Yeah, what do you expect out of me? Bro, what the fuck?
What'd you get?
That's 16.
+1 or whatever.
Plus 1 would be 17.
19?
20.
19 total.
Yeah, 18 plus 1, 19.
Very close.
We know.
Actually, hold on. Let me check the DC saves because I might have.
That's one thing I do like about Pathfinder is they set the DCs because they give like levels of items and the DC is 10 plus whatever the level of the item is.
So technically
Screwdriver.
the DC 4 is 20.
Probably this one right here. Yep, it's this one back here.
Does it have a screw to it?
I would
Yeah, Allen
literally
wrench.
have to
Yeah,
roll
there's
it.
Oh yeah,
To get
I'll
it.
bet off.
But
All
that's
three of us are in the same
but-
position with
I don't
that.
think I haven't.
I have one handy. I'll try to remember to grab one from the house and bring it up.
because you have no other way of identifying it, and already initially the roll is really hard.
Well, here's the thing. We could say if you want to like charge us a certain amount, we could say that Percy took him back to Foxcroft and found
So did identify it?
Somebody to
went back
identify
and talked to the can't think of his name.
I
We
mean,
rescued his daughter.
Oh,
Huh?
Miho?
That's back in Miyoshi Village.
Oh, that's
a
right.
long way away.
I was thinking that was in Foxcroft.
I mean, maybe a vague,
I'm sure there's somebody in
But, yeah.
Foxcroft we
vague
can.
understanding, not like explicit details.
I could go ask the lady that I bought my potions from.
Vague.
You would, yeah. I mean, you definitely know it's a magical dagger.
Yeah.
What exactly it does, you're still not sure. However, it is magic.
Does it feel? I guess
I'm not finding anything about this ring in my notes.
bad.
I'm surprised. You'd be the one that would have it.
I know, right?
You wouldn't be able to tell. Yeah. If you give it to Percy though during this time, if you go back to the village,
Drex is.
I'll roll to see how much the identification would cost you. But you could do that.
It's an
I would allow
amulet
that.
for better charisma. That's what I wrote down. It's an amulet, not a ring.
I don't have anything about anything.
And I have.
Let me check.
Because I have.
It's an amulet for. I think it's just. It gives you advantage on persuasion checks. Or something like that, but it gives you a +1 to charisma. That's what I wrote down.
Because I go from that
And
fight
then
with
it
Calros
gives you
to
something
shit.
else.
Interesting.
It happened on. I wrote it down on the 17th of Nyrar to give you a date.
That actually might help. Let me check my notes.
That's the day that
So the
Beck was
19th?
trying to
17th,
charm
but
Maxim and
February 18th.
Beck has it.
What?
Beck has it.
I thought
The
you
ring?
took it.
The amulet?
Oh, the amulet.
No, I think Beck has it.
I'm
Beck
pretty sure he
might
did.
have it.
Oh. Because he was, at the time, doing a lot of the talking.
I think we gave it to
'Cause
him
he
so when he
kinda had
could
a-
get higher level, he could cast Identify.
Because he was
Right.
connecting with
No.
Shane somewhat.
Yeah,
That could have been.
maybe.
that might be why I don't have it wrote down because that's the same.
Because somebody took it, so they put it on their sheet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
the
I think
17th is
technically Beck has it.
when Beck was doing Charm
Wow.
Person on Maxim and Aldous.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize rules as written were so easy for identifying a magic item. Basically says you can spend a short rest while in physical contact with the item and know its properties.
Yeah, you basically attune to it. But if it's cursed, you also absorb
Right.
the curse.
Anyway, so yeah, we can just send the money, get it attuned, get time, but we will get there. I think we were going to send that. Well, no, we'll send the dagger with him to definitely get it
Identified.
identified.
Percy, roll 2d6 for me. Total times 10 is how much the identification costs.
Of course, now I roll good.
2 6s.
But I got a 6. Thank goodness the other one was only a 3.
90%.
Right. Okay.
So I'll go ahead and just give it to you.
Let me take that off of the party gold I have.
That's all of the party money.
Well, I'll take it off of my.
So
money
I'll read
for
it.
now.
Let me read it first, and then whoever wants to use it or take it, I will send them the link for it.
Okay.
So you have it. So this is the Dagger of Constricting Magic. It is a weapon, a dagger, very rare. You gain a +1 to attack and damage rolls while using this weapon. A creature struck with this weapon must succeed on a DC 16 Constitution saving throw or be unable to cast any form of magic until the end of your next turn. Any spell that the creature is concentrating on is dropped. A creature that is unable to use magic instead takes 3d6 necrotic damage. This dagger does not prevent or stop the use of magic items. Additionally, a creature that is being affected by a spell not cast by them, or a spell that was cast before being hit that is not concentrated on, is not affected by the dagger.
Cool, that's Percy.
So say...
Yep, that's all Percy.
Yeah, so say somebody else
Easiest
is
decision ever.
casting haste on somebody. If you hit them with the dagger, their haste does not leave because it is not them who is casting
really
it.
have no use for a dagger.
You would have to, but if you
I
hit the
don't-
caster that was casting haste, they would
Yes.
have to make their saving
Because
throw.
they're concentrating on it. If they fail their saving throw against the dagger, it just drops. They get no
Is this
check.
It's a +1 dagger.
No, but is it a published item?
No.
Wizards, okay. That's why I couldn't find it when I was searching
You'll
for
have
it.
to create
That's
a
fine.
custom item for it.
That's fine.
This is what you got stabbed with on the beach. And why you couldn't cast magic.
I'm back up to 5 daggers.
A long
Just
time
give
ago.
yourself a dagger.
Yeah,
and
it's just
then
been sitting in your
customize it.
inventory.
No
one bothered to look at it. I was like, okay.
Well, mostly because we had no way to really identify it,
Where did my
and then we forgot about it.
wild magical weapon? Can I get?
I am also ready for level 7. I'm ready
I
for
want
my
another
movement speed
invocation.
increase.
I
mean, for what it's worth, all my attacks at level 6 are considered magical.
Yep. That's
Because
good.
he empowered strikes, which is amazing for what we're going into. But at level 7, he and I both get evasion.
Oh, that's too nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just
so
want an invocation.
this happens. Percy, are you staying? Or for the...
No, we will just go get the dagger identified, and then
So you begin heading back to...
and then buy a couple climbers kits and a couple of blankets.
Okay.
Which is what they wanted.
Okay, so go ahead and just use whatever the base cost is. And
Which was 25. I'll buy 3 because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us.
so it's going to take... It'll take a half day to get back and do all of this.
Halfway through.
And then
Or
by the
Percy's
time you
time.
get back, it will... Or by the time you get there, it'll be night. So
Okay.
I assume you'll probably want to stay there.
Okay.
Yeah, this
Uh,
is probably
and then it'll take another... A little longer than a half day to get back because you'll be coming back on foot.
Like 2/3 of a day.
Unless you hire somebody to, like, take you out there.
No. And how much would the
Blankets.
yes, but the stabling of the horses
Oh,
and
yeah.
the wagon, storage of the wagon cost?
They have a daily rate. I don't remember. Let me look.
I know it wasn't very much the first time.
Not like one gold maybe.
Something like that.
Maybe
I
2.
thought it was 10 because we paid for the expensive.
Oh, that was right. It was like 5 or 10 gold for the higher end stuff.
So what level of quality?
The
High-
best.
So
High
basic
security again?
basic care and just regular care is 2 gold a night. The medium package is 5 gold a night, and the high tier package is 10 gold a night.
So if I pay for 7 days, it would be 35 gold for the mid tier. Okay.
Knox would have sent money.
How much would you have sent? Because I gave him 60 over the party fund, and I can give him more to reimburse for his.
So
1 second.
Hold on.
I'm telling you.
So I spent all my gold on the identifying of the potion and for 6 nights of the luxury stay for the horses. The high end.
Okay.
And then I spent 50 of the party gold for the climbers kits. For 2 climbers kits. And then I still have 200 from that Theo gave me.
If
And
you,
10 from the party gold left.
If you pick up the horses early, the
You
money
get
is
reimbursed.
reimbursed, yeah.
But if we go over,
We
how
have to pay
long
that.
do we have before they'll...
It's double the rates until you come back.
Ouch!
So I will say I used the other 10, so we paid for 7 nights. I used 65 of my own gold and 65 of the party gold would be enough to pay for
I only sent
So
60.
for 10 nights and the
I
climbers
only
kits and
said
blankets.
60
So
from
when
the
you
party
come back,
gold.
if it goes over, when you come back, it's double the whatever rate you were paying for.
Right.
If you are gone longer than 14 days,
Mm-hmm.
it's presumed that something has happened and you're not coming back, and the horses
That's
are released.
But then you would get your
Or
gold
sold.
back. Because I basically used my own gold and the party gold.
So,
We could pay for more gold and just give us a 2 week.
It's fine. I got this,
I got you, hang on.
I got this really cool dagger.
How much is it for another 7 days?
Yeah, like I'm willing.
70?
Yeah, I'm
I got
willing. Yeah,
I got it.
I can
Okay.
shark out more money just to give us the insurance.
Yeah.
That I don't know if we're gonna be there and back in a week.
No. I'll pay for another week.
Okay.
As well.
And also, Knox is gonna toss you an additional 10 gold to find yourself a pastry.
so Drex and Percy are going
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, with an additional.
What kind of pie is in season? Is it fall? So apple? Pumpkin?
I'd have to look at my calendar because I don't remember off the top of my head.
Well, whatever pie would be most in season in
I
Foxtrot.
want to say it's. I think Leviar is
Early in the year.
like spring, summertime.
Spring.
You want a peach pie?
Well,
Or do you want a black raspberry pie?
raspberries would be springtime.
Black
Early
caps.
June.
Yeah, so
Black
this
caps.
is the equivalent of March. So it's
Oh,
early
March.
spring.
That's really early. Maybe strawberry?
Berry, maybe?
You hit the one kind of pie I don't like.
It's basically it's almost the end of Leviar though, so it's basically April.
So a lot of things would be getting into season.
But we can discuss pie flavors.
No worries.
Anyway, so Knox gave an additional 10 gold to buy himself, or at least those two, a treat while they're in town, like a
Yep.
pie or something.
So the rest of you that stay,
He knows that Percy's doing a lot to even allow this dragon, so he might as well at least give him a pie or
Give him
something. Give him something.
so the rest of you that stay, kind of converse amongst yourselves. High anticipation, the longer, the more time passes, the more, you kind of start to get anxious, a little on edge. Thoughts of second guessing, thoughts of, what if this works, what if this doesn't. You're all kind of just swirling in various emotions.
Knox's biggest problem is, fuck, I gave him my name. That's the thing.
Kind
He's
of like,
still
I just
kind
want
of
to work with him to find my grandpa.
That's what he's kind of ruminating on. He's like, I just opened that door.
About-
Shit.
3 hours pass, and at this point it is the moon has taken to the sky.
I'm kind of sitting in the entrance to my
Um,
tent.
the fire that you guys have is still kind of lightly crackling. Anastasia is kind of laying at the foot of your tent, just kind of like...
And I'm just...
Yeah.
The mindless scratches.
Stoyo is sitting by the fire talking to whoever else
Nox probably
is
by the fire.
around.
My tent's not far from the fire.
Kind of chatting.
I'm probably with him.
They're chatting to the two of you. And
Just shooting the shit.
there's a moment when the flame kind of stirs. And again.
I think we're not alone.
I kind of look up.
You look up, look around, and see anything.
I mean, it is a black dragon and
You
it
hear-
is at night.
Eventually the sounds of scattering leaves just kind of are pushed away.
The snow kind of...
Yes. But initially there's nothing there until almost like it's phasing into existence. The dragon's body slowly
Nox is the
becomes
moment
visible.
he hears it land, Nox is just gonna stand up because it's probably greeting when he's probably doing it.
Yeah.
And he's going to stand and he's gonna go. About time.
I was gonna kind of slip over.
It's a
and-
pleasure to eat you.
Yeah, he's going to walk up to Greta with about time and he's just gonna nod his head.
So, Felzar
A
is
very casual way to greet a dragon, I know.
it is large. Obviously, it's a dragon. It takes up fair amount of space. Its claws, its nail is roughly the size of Theo.
Yeah.
He's big.
So
He's a big boy.
yeah, and it is pretty large.
Yeah, Nox is
Really
still gonna
cool.
get up to properly greet him with a nod and a half bow.
As soon as she slips over Anastasia, out into the...
Stoyo's just kind of wide-eyed, oh, this is happening. Oh, this is happening.
Does Anastasia just kind of look like...
Yeah, she's got that alert mode where her head's raised, but she's
not doing anything?
Yeah.
Just wired.
And then he's just gonna do a look over and he's like, well, you seem to be in better health.
it breathes heavily out of its nose as you feel the gust
Don't eat me.
He just looks up at him and just grins.
So you've summoned me,
Yes.
requested my presence. You're really fucking cool.
Was he?
He's a friend of ours.
Friend, loose term. He's a druid.
Really neat.
He's very eager. What I really wished to speak to you about, and I appreciate you coming all this way. We are going to be going up against certain odds in the mountain range. And we were unsure whether or not your involvement would help or hinder, or if you would even be open for such a thing.
What is it you wish to traverse? This is Belzian's territory.
We simply
Belzian?
wish for you
Yes.
to take us into the mountains. You don't have to do anything but take us there, and then you can leave.
Again. Where?
He's gonna turn around and look at
Astoria.
Estorio, and he's gonna go,
Oh, he kind of gets up and, in favor of not shouting, kind of walks over. It is, we're looking for an entrance to a cave. It's on the to the east of Foxtrot, the eastern side of the mountains, on the southern face.
So we don't meet directly there, but if you could at least shave off perhaps a few days, would be greatly appreciated. You don't have
Such things are possible. Belzian rules the western half of the mountains. The eastern half,
Who exactly is Belzian?
the Frost Tyrant. He's a old, stubborn white dragon who lives in his icicles in the northwest.
We won't be putting you into any sort of conflict with him.
If your destination is on the east, then no.
Okay.
Should your destination have lied in the west, then I would have to refuse.
How many... Excuse me, I'm overstepping that. Where are all of these territories? So we are
Where?
aware in case we step on
There are many.
any that we need to be apparently aware of. Besides you, of course.
Thanks for a moment. As long as you are not taking what is theirs, then should you step into an area of their territory, they don't seek action unless you intend to harm
Thank you for that
But-
clarification.
them. Should you ever find yourself in the desert, beware of what hides in the sand.
You don't have to tell me twice. I was around that desert. Stories themselves are enough.
Yes. He does not take kindly to anyone, but only those who have grown old in their ancient times are those who we respect boundaries. They have claimed their territory for millennia. They have the right to keep it. Young bloods who find themselves hot-headed, they think they own the territory. They do not.
I was always told the story of beware of the shifting sands. Thank you for just reaffirming
So, you called me for aid as a means of transportation.
that. We did not know the lengths you would be able to
Or
do.
be willing.
We did not wish to impose anything more upon you.
As I said, a debt is a debt. I will fulfill this request. I can transport you.
Hopefully the next time we meet, we're helping you with what you need help with.
These negotiations can be further extended, as anything beyond this point is now give and take. A ride of quick passage to the top takes minutes for me.
It would take
This
days
asks
for
very
us.
little. A debt for saving my life. We are even. However, your assistance is something I request in the future. If you were to open up negotiations, perhaps we could take this conversation farther. But if this is where our deal ends, then so be it.
What do you know about vampires?
Oh, that's a good question. That's what we're gonna go fight.
Kind of breathes heavily, and like acidic fire kind of comes out of the nostrils.
We're gonna go take out at least one, if we can.
Vampires, bloodsuckers. how much. I've lived your lifetime 100 times over.
That is what we are going to do.
So, as he says that, he actually looks at you, and he looks at you. I've lived your lifetime thousands.
Poor Theo.
Do you know what I am?
Do you not?
No.
You are Theo.
I'm not human,
You are not.
and I've been called a shifter.
Born of the ocean.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
that is what you are.
Well, back to the vampires. I get distracted easily.
If you wish to aid us, that would be on your own prerogative, but on moral grounds, and out of respect for a party member, I cannot request such things. That will be on your own volition.
I do not offer my services for free.
I will show the mark.
That
Kind of like
is,
squints heavily at it.
that is the point of negotiations, I assume.
Carry the scent of the undead. You are turning.
That is the point of the urgency of our conversations. If you wish to negotiate on your own volition for your services, that would be your prerogative to figure something out. But on a moral standard, I cannot request such things.
You can't, I can. Yeah, we're trying to kill some vampires. Not saying that, it would be like child's play for you, but, quick swat. Maybe you can help us. Who is this one? Stoyle! Points clear over to the tent. It's my daughter, Anastasia. This one's full of energy.
I can safely say you have now found yourself your biggest fan.
I mean, yeah. That's pretty cool. But, yes, perhaps they don't want to ask you for help, but I have nothing to lose, so I will absolutely, help us. If you would.
See, loopholes. We are not asking.
He
Stoyo
is asking.
That's what it wants all the
I
help.
require-
Percy's not there.
Loopholes. We didn't ask.
I require nothing from you, Stoyo. Your bargain holds no meaning to me.
Oh.
He's like,
Yeah.
ouch!
No, Nox is gonna just pat Stoyo over the shoulder and
Okay.
he's gonna go. You got the momentum.
Last we met, I requested your assistance with a future endeavor.
Yeah.
If you agree to help me with this immediately after resolving this current conflict, perhaps my services can be extended.
Would you be willing to tell us what it is?
We have a time frame. But, however, if I can have access to their research, I might be able to find some ways to slow it down.
I cannot tell you in full detail until I know.
I feel like my clock is running low.
However,
Does it involve my grandfather?
in a way, my scales were not always black.
Ooh.
What color were you before?
I will tell you more when the time comes.
I think I have the most to lose here. I would be willing to do this. I mean, my time is probably shorter than the rest of you.
I mean, considering I don't have one anymore.
Thinks for a moment.
That is my concern. Is I don't want to call this a dowry, but
I
we're
do
running-
smell the scent of the death on you, as I mentioned.
We are running out of time.
If what we find in can help us,
If
then
I can make heads or tails of it, I will burn the midnight oil to try and find a way to slow it down.
I know Percy's not going to be happy, but
Kind of like leans down and like rests on his like claws and is more like head on the ground, like eye level.
It's
But like,
significantly
much
less
as he can.
strain on
Yeah,
his
you're
neck.
you're full height standing. You're still kind of looking up as he kind of like rests his head on the ground.
can you
Quick
shift your
question.
form?
Is this dragon warm? Is he radiating body heat?
I mean, yes and no. You've seen him breathe acidic fire before, so you know that the ability to turn that on is in his body.
Cool.
However, he's not radiating heat, but he is also not cold-blooded.
He's gonna just take a half step closer because he's warm.
Yes, however, because of his giant presence, probably to you guys, he is warm.
He's just gonna take a half step closer. He's like,
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
Can you
just stand a
change your
bit
form?
closer to warm.
Not in my current state. I can cloak myself. That is the best I can do.
That's why I didn't see you when I looked up when I saw the flames going crazy.
Yes, mortals tend to be easily startled when they see a dragon flying overhead.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
fair.
my
I mean,
concern.
fair.
Yes.
Before my scales were black, they were gold. I sense urgency in your words. Your tone and your signs. The way you speak tells me that whatever is afflicting you is taking you quickly. Help me turn my body back to gold. Perhaps I can help all of you remove this curse.
I'm in.
Yeah, I was in before because it kind of involves my grandpa.
This
So.
is my bargain.
I'm in. What- if we tell Percy, Percy will be okay with it.
I hope.
I mean, insight check.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna fail this one.
Would it
15.
He's making you a deal. He has no reason to lie.
you would be able to
Troy
Theo and
said
Kai are
yes,
over here.
Percy's like, no.
Bobbleheads.
I'm not specifically not saying anything because I'm not there.
Neither is Drex.
Yeah, Theo and Kai are over here just bobbleheads.
the opportunity.
I mean, we are missing 2 of our numbers. Should we wait to discuss that further?
I wish to say yes. If we can remove these curses without involving Sasha. But also I made a promise to Percy.
You already have my agreement of flying there. We cannot leave until you all return.
This is true.
So we can talk with them when they come back.
But we need to. I promised Percy that I would not ask him to compromise his own morals from here on out. And I wish to uphold that promise to him.
Is there any way you can prove that you're a gold dragon? I mean, the fact that you haven't eaten is
If I was not, I would have eaten.
but
Metallics are chosen to protect humanity. The chromatics feel the call of Tiamat. Whether they want to or not, they have no choice but to be evil. That is what separates us from them. As we have free will, they do not.
Are you protecting the ruins of the first dawn?
I was.
They're real?
It is where I call my home. Where I did.
If we did this and got our marks removed, I would say that'd be repentance to self as well. And then we would be back to an even playing field. But however, having a gold dragon on our side would not be that
Are you
bad of
the
an idea.
beast they talk about? The travelers when they come back from trying to get in.
No,
There's something else?
that is what I need you for.
Holy.
There's the risk.
Oh. Is it true about the treasure?
That is my home.
I'm just curious. I don't want to take anything. I grew up on the stories of the place.
Yes and no.
I want to help.
I really want to help.
People
But-
fantasize that
I agree. Let's
a being of myself guarding such a place would be full of treasures.
let's let Percy and Drex have a
The
say.
metallics do not require such things. We are not.
Given that has
No.
brought points of
The
contention
treasure
in the
is-
past.
Yeah, let's let Percy and Drex have a say in this, but I'm definitely on board.
Me too.
You are not the first mortals I've asked to help me.
I think when Percy understands that he's actually a metallic and a good dragon,
I think it might help.
but it would be up to Percy. I mean, if anything, we get to the top, then that's it.
If anything, we can uphold their deal with Sarsha. But if we wish to be removed from such shadow work, this is an opportunity for that.
Absolutely.
Kind of like raises his head and like rolls his arms, his wings kind of flap out and then kind of come back as he slowly stands back to his feet. Take the evening.
They won't be back until tomorrow.
She'll be back in the morning.
I will return tomorrow evening.
Thank you, Kalvar.
You're welcome.
Do not get injured on your way back up here.
Kind of flaps his wings.
He's gonna use that chance to give him a look over.
Before he leaves, I'll like hug a claw. Sorry.
You're like hugging it and you're like,
I shall contact you. Or come dawn, you can contact me.
need not. I will return.
I thank you.
Oh.
Walks as he starts walking off, his scales flip inside out, and as they do, they like it's like when you roll your hand over like a sequence pillow and it changes.
I love the
the
pillow.
inside out begins turning him invisible until his scales disappear, and you just hear.
He's gonna,
And on that, we will go ahead and stop there for tonight.
he's gonna look at Destoyo and he's gonna go,
Yeah, he's still sitting there like, yeah, good job.